Hi, I'm Kerry. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors. Been doing this since November of 2019. I've become a millionaire, and I've become a millionaire as a result of the FANG stocks, or what I call my big six. And that is Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, and Tesla. And what I did was recognize their value early on, and I have profited quite handsomely. I started with about $200,000, so I've kind of five-folded my money. So that's how that happened. And so I got to thinking, what do I have to do to make my next million? Well, I got to find the next Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, or Tesla in order to do that. Well, how am I going to do that? So I decided I was going to find out, how could I have discovered Apple early on, the Apple that would come to be the largest company in the world. And what I did was I recognized and I realized that the first article that was ever written about Apple was written in February of 1977. And it was a new company in California called the Apple Computer Company. The article was written by Sheila Carver. The title of the article was The Remarkable Apple Company. And she flew out to California and was picked up by the two Steves, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, and they took them to Steve Jobs' parents' garage, and she spent 3 hours with them, and she learned about it. And so she wrote this article. That would have been my first possible exposure in February of '77 to Apple. So I said, I have to learn how to duplicate that. So that's what this video is about, the discovery, and how that played out, and how I can use that story to make my next discovery. And that's what this channel is all about. And what I want to do is, if this appeals to you, give it a thumbs up, do it now, and then also subscribe, so that we can build a bigger audience of people who want to approach investing a little bit different, who want to approach it from a basis of not what's happening today, but what's going to happen tomorrow that I can hugely profit on. So let's get this out of the way, and then let's talk a little bit more about the two Steve story.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Okay, as I said, the article was written in February of '77, but Apple did not go public until December of 1980. So that was more than, 3 years later. It went public on December the 12th, 1980, at $22 a share. Now, split adjusted, that would be equivalent to $13 in today's Apple price. Now, let's follow it and see if it turned out to be what everybody did or didn't think it was going to be. Again, it went public, split adjusted, December the 12th, 1980, for the equivalent of 13 cents. By July of '82, it was down to 5 cents. It lost more than half of its value. December of '97, 82 to '97, it went from $5 to 11 cents. Or excuse me, 5 cents to 11 cents. Then in September of '04, from December '97 to September '04, it went from 11 cents to 39 cents. You didn't know this, did you? It was not an easy road. February '09, it was up to $3.09. So it had from 39 cents to $3.09 in 5 years. Then today, it's at $149. So that's the track record. So what I'm asking is, what do I have to do to find a news story that is going to alert me to the next Apple? And let's hope it doesn't take, from 1980 to 2021, 40 years, okay? But if you had in December the 12th, bought at $22, the equivalent of 13 cents today, $1,000 worth of Apple, today that $1,000 would be worth $1,146,155. Is it worth the 40-year wait? I think it is. I think it is. So what I wanted to do then was say, okay, where's a news story that I heard or information that I gathered that could have given me a similar path to my next $1 million? And so I went back and I searched my emails to find out when I first was notified about Crispr. And I got an email in July of 2020 from Denise. Denise was a medical student. I believe she was in Switzerland. And she says, I'm learning a lot about a therapy called Crispr. And so I looked it up and I started to learn about it. Then that was in July of 20. In March of 2021, I got a message from one of my members, Patrick F., of my Discord, and said, here's a link to a video put out by the University of Wisconsin. Watch it. It's about a therapy called Crispr. I watched it. I made my first purchase of Crispr in November of 2020. I paid $103 for it. To give you some price reference, Crispr came out in October of 16 at $13.75. By January of 21, it was up to $220. I had bought it before that. So I had doubled my money. It's now at 95. So much like Apple, doubled your money, lost it. Okay? So I'm down. So then I said, in this process, I have to learn more about that. So I started reading. The first book I read was this one. It's The Kraken Creation, Genome Editing, and the Unthinkable Power to Control Evolution. And it's by Jennifer Doudna and Samuel Steinerd. So I read that, and I said, this is interesting. Then I found this book by David Sinclair. He's a professor at at Harvard, and he explained to me in a little bit more understandable terms that if you use CRISPR and you can take disease out of your life, you can live forever. That interested me. So then I was watching Sunday Morning. We watch Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley every Sunday. And on March of 2021, they came out with an interview of Walter Isaacson, and it was about this book that he wrote called The Code Breaker. I want to show you a little bit about what Walter said and what they felt the future of CRISPR was. That's what The Code Breaker is about. So watch this.
Rewrite the genes of any plant, animal, or person.
When I started this book, I thought, okay, biotechnology and CRISPR, it's the most amazing thing happening in our time. And then I realized by the end, I was understating the case.
Walter Isaacson is the author of best-selling books about Benjamin Franklin, Albert Einstein, and Steve Jobs. His latest, The Code Breaker, published by Simon & Schuster, part of Viacom CBS, is about Jennifer Doudna and her work on CRISPR. So do you think this biotech revolution will be as big in scope and impact as the digital revolution was?
Oh, I think the biotech revolution is going to be 10 times more important than the digital revolution because it allows us to hack the code of life. And we shouldn't be afraid of using this technology to make ourselves healthier.
Okay, that brings me up to today. I have increased my holdings in Crispr. I have added Editis and several other genome therapy stocks. One by the name of Intella has skyrocketed. This past Friday, they have gotten a grant from the FDA to fast track their liver CRISPR therapy. So I expect it will go up substantially in the future. But what I think I'm sharing with you here is I've discovered the next Apple. I've discovered the next Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Tesla. Those are all companies that will continue to grow, but they aren't going to grow from 13 cents to $149. And I don't think they're going to take 40 years to do it. Even if they do, I'm well positioned. Let me show you the stocks that I own in this category, and I'm going to call this category the healthcare revolution. I've bet heavily, but I am confident that this is going to be where the future is. So this is my portfolio. What I want you to understand is this is a different way of investing. It is, first of all, a community way of investing. I was told about this, CRISPR, by people who watch my videos, who understand I'm interested in investing in companies that are going to change the way I live, that I have no real qualms about investing in a company that is not making a profit, has never made a profit, and is burning through money if, in fact, they're going to change the way I live. Much as the way that the two Steves of Apple were burning through money and losing stock value as they went through the discovery stage, as they matured. But then, once they matured, because they were changing the way we live. And if you caught what Walter Isaacson said, this is bigger than the digital revolution. Well, what is the digital revolution? How can we put a value so that if Walter is right, it's bigger than the digital revolution? What is the digital revolution? It's Apple, it's Google, it's Amazon, it's Facebook, it's Microsoft, all put together. That's what we're talking about. That's the prize that's there. Now, it's a different way of going about investing. But I believe that as a result of the corona crisis, that this is going to come faster than you and I think. It is one of those things that is going to be driven by the phrase, this can never happen again. We can never have our healthcare system so jeopardized and our human population so jeopardized by a virus. And that once you find how to stop the virus and you attach that to the CRISPR technology, you learn how to stop disease. And as Lifespan says, if you eliminate disease, why we age and why we don't have to. We don't have, and why if you take that one more step, why we die and we don't have to. My family is subjected to cancer. My mother died of it, my father died of it, my daughter died of it, and I'll probably die of it. But I don't have to. CRISPR can take it out of my body. And that's the next big, big, big thing. There's other big things, and we'll talk about them in the future. But I wanted you to see how If in February of 1977, if you had read that article, how that is equivalent to if you had seen Walter Isaacson on CBS Sunday morning, how you would have seen a vision of the future. I'm going to put a link in the description to that Sunday morning interview. I want you to watch it, the whole thing. I want you to watch it, because if you watch it, you'll say, Kerry's right. This is bigger than the world can imagine. All right. This is exciting. This is what investing should be and what it can be. And this is what you need to teach your children and your grandchildren. Share this video with them, because if they'll do this, if they'll put $1,000 into this, and I showed you my portfolio, folks, this is bigger than you and I can even imagine. Talk to you again tomorrow.